Hello, and welcome to On Record, the only show of the LBL where you will receive the latest news, scores, and stats every Wednesday at 5. Thanks for tuning in today. My name is Chad Kleman, and we got a lot to get to. But first, I'd like to thank the VFW of Ohio Charities for being the proud official sponsor of the LBL and the LBL Champions Cup. If you'd like to know what they do in your community and what you could do to help them, go to vfwohiocharities.com. We had a pretty busy week 8. I'm going to let everyone know who the MVP and the defensive player of the season is. That's coming out here later in the show. Vandals make a statement before the playoffs. Dylan Szabo is the first guest of the On Record LBL show. I'm excited to have him on. Week 8. We had some blowouts. We had a good game between the Kings and the Liberty, though. The Liberty ended up beating the Kings 63-57. Mustangs 70, the Vandals 102. The 409ers 64, the Pistons 86, Lions 79, and the Wolves 64. For the week, we had some standout performances. In points, Austin Armstead, Tyler Layton, and Adam Babier had a three-way tie at 30 points. The rebound leader was Malik Osborne. He had 16 boards. The assist leaders were Jared Schwiefer and Mars Johnson with 7 assists. So good job, guys. The player of the week this week goes to Malik Osborne. He had 23 points, a whopping 16 rebounds, and shot an incredible 92% from the field. Man, you're doing amazing this season. Keep it up. Hopefully you can keep doing that in the playoffs. For Game 1, we had the Liberty versus the Kings. Liberty came up with the upset 63-57. So after this loss, are the Kings the clear favorites now? Still, are they the clear favorites? I believe the water is a little muddied, and there is no clear favorite. The Lions are a fierce competitor, and when the Mustangs get hot, they're pretty unstoppable. So this game really came down to defense. This was a battle between two of the top defensive players in the game, Jalen Myers and TJ Pennell. They did a great job guarding each other. Both didn't really have such a great offensive game. Benjamin Cameron had another great game, third in a row. He had 17 points, 13 rebounds, shot 54% from the field. And Dylan Szabo might have had his best game of the season. Szabo, sorry. He had 20 points and he shot 54% from the field. The Liberty came out with a solid game plan around TJ and really executed it perfectly. TJ only had 9 points, so it was really fun to see TJ and Jalen go at it. Like I said, they're the two best defensive players in the league. Jalen had a really smooth block on TJ, and TJ decided to come right back and give him one of his own. So that was really fun to see between the two. And I think it was a close one between the two for defensive player of the season. So just a little sneak peek for what's to come later in the show. Game 2, the Mustangs and the Vandals. The Mustangs had 70, the Vandals had 102. The Mustangs just came out flat, and they got frustrated really easily. Mustangs probably have one of the biggest tempers in the league, along with the Kings. In the first quarter, I believe it was AJ that got thrown out of the game, and then Martin Glasper wasn't too far behind him. He was also ejected with 2 technicals. Tyler Layton finished with 30 points, went 8-16 from the 3-point, behind the 3-point arc. And really the Vandals just look pretty amazing after acquiring Dominique Dunn. They've been playing real well. Jake has been amazing the past 2 games. He's been playing on fire. He had 26 points, 9 rebounds, shot 56% from the field. And Austin Armstead, he's been putting up MVP numbers all year. He averages 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 46% from the field. And he put up 30 points on 61% shooting from the Mustangs. So all year, all season, Austin's been putting up crazy MVP numbers. Made it into the discussion for MVP. So, Game 3, 419ers and the Pistons. Pistons won the game 86-64, ended up squeaking out of that last position at number 7, and the 419ers dropped down to number 8. Should Adam be kept on contract? That's a really big question here. He was picked in the second round. He hasn't been traded, so he's averaging what is he averaging? He's averaging 20 points a game on 44% shooting. You know, this guy is really amazing. He had his second 30-point game in a row. He shot 65% from the field, but it just wasn't enough. You really need the pieces around him to make it work. Matt Ayers had only 5 points, shot 2 for 14 from the field, and you can't really just stop what the Pistons were doing. They were playing beautiful basketball. All 6 of their players that showed up had double digits. They just were finding the open man, sharing the ball, moving it around. It looked awesome. Both teams, though, do have the potential to be better than what they have showed this season. They have talent. Preston Morman, that guy's a beast. He had 19 points and 8 boards. I think he's really underrated. And I think going into the playoffs, he's going to want to show his worth for the next season upcoming. So I do expect both teams to, play hard in the playoffs. They have a will to win. So we'll see how that goes. Game 4. The Lions end up taking the game against the Wolves, 79-64, and Malik, after missing last game, proves that he is the key piece to the Lions' victories. Without him, that offense just they don't have an identity. Other people try picking up the slack, and when someone is on your team who shoots 64% for the season, that's just that's hard to trade out that type of efficiency with a guard. So ultimately, Malik needs to be there for the Lions, and let's not forget about Jared Schwiefer. He started the season off kind of iffy, made some iffy picks, but he tried for a triple-double this last game. He had 10 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He's really been trying to pick up his slack from earlier in the season, and it shows the last couple games. He's been doing well. Michael Bennett finished with 24 points, 9 rebounds. And I had mentioned earlier our player of the week, Malik. He had another very stellar game with 23 points, 16 rebounds on 92% shooting. Pretty cool stat here. The Lions shot 14 less times than the Wolves, but shot 67% to the Wolves' 42%. So it just shows you how efficient the Lions can be. You get Malik in the right spot on the floor. That guy's just too dominant to miss. So I think the Lions have figured it out, and I think they're going to make a really far push into the playoffs. Jake Schmeltz finished with 22 points and 6 assists on 88% shooting. So Malik wasn't the only one being really efficient. Jake Schmeltz was sharing the ball and putting the ball in the basket. So Jake and Malik are an awesome dynamic duo, and I'm excited to see what they do in the playoffs. All right. Well, that's the game-by-game analysis. Time to move on to what everyone's waiting for. I'm going to announce the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Season for Season 5. The MVP of Season 5 goes to Malik Osborne. He shot 21 points a game, 12 rebounds a game, and is leading his Lions to a 5-3 record to get that third spot. And he's really proved when he's not there, the Lions struggle. And when he's there, man, it just looks like it all clicks and works perfectly. Even the players around him play better when he's there. He just makes that offense work and click so smoothly. So, Defensive Player of the Season goes to TJ Pennell. He has one Defensive Player. I believe it was the previous season, and for the second season in a row, he wins it again. He averages 3 steals a game, and he is really, truly the anchor of what of the best, arguably the best defense in the league with the Kings. So they do a great job, especially TJ, and he really does lead that defense to victory, or he does lead that team to victories using his defense. So congratulations, guys. Moving on to next week's matchups, round 1. We have the number 1 seeded Kings and the number 8 seeded 4-1 Niners. We have the 4 seeded Wolves and the 5th seeded Vandals. We have the 2nd seeded Mustangs going against the 7th seeded Pistons. We have the Lions, who are 3rd, and going against the Liberty, who are the 6th. So we got some really good matchups here. I think the 4-1 Niners can really give the Kings a hard time, especially if Adam keeps playing the way he is, and other people around him kind of help him out a little bit, pick up the slack. But I want to introduce our new guest, Dylan Szabo. He give us 60 seconds for a break, and we'll be right back with Dylan next. All right, welcome back. I got Dylan with me. Dylan, welcome.
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So Dylan had a very good game this past week 8. For the season, though, he averages 12 points and 3 rebounds a game. Is a key piece, spot-up shooter for the Liberty. I do believe in high school you have the most 3 points in a regular season, correct?
Yeah, well, actually, I tied the record for that.
You tied the record?
Yes.
What was that?
Yes, I actually don't remember the number.
Okay.
It was a little while ago.
Yeah.
But
Where'd you go to school again?
I went to Holgate.
Holgate. Wow, that's impressive, man. So how do you feel about the Liberty this season? What do you think led up to this
Honestly,
point?
we had some struggles, especially in the beginning of the season. We definitely struggled at the beginning of the season to find an identity, as to who we are and how we play. But I think really within the last 3 games, we really figured it out, and I think we're going to make a good playoff push. I think we can go pretty far.
Awesome. What do you think you can do to help improve your team?
I think defensively, I can step up a little bit more. I think I step up on defense, take some better shots on offense, and keep doing what we're doing. I don't know if I have to change anything drastically to improve my team, but I think right now we're exactly where we should be.
Heck yeah. So with that being said, would you like to be kept on contract by your team GM, Jalen Myers, next season?
Yeah, no, actually, me and Jalen, we get along really well. I would love to stay on Jalen's team for the next season.
Okay, cool. So that means Jalen has some things to talk or to think about there. So I just announced Malik won the MVP. TJ won the Defensive Player of the Season.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Actually, so Malik, man, that guy's a beast.
Yeah,
that guy's an animal.
beast, yeah.
He's absolutely hard to stop. I don't know if he's had a bad game yet this season. I think Austin made a crazy competitor against him, though, because he was a beast all season, too. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely think Malik deserved it for sure. Defensively, I think TJ, I think he definitely deserved it, but I also think there's some people left in the running with that one, too, maybe to think about. I know Jalen Myers for our team. If you watch, he was a key defensive player. I mean, player all around. But if you watch the games, he gets some key rebounds, some key steals. I mean, he's ice cold. Another one I want to bring up too is Jared Sweefer. I don't know. I mean, I know we talked about it last week on here, but that guy's a beast on defense too, and he really carries the Wolves defensively. I think with his energy and the way he plays on defense. So I think those are two other great candidates for defense. But TJ, he's a dog when it comes to defense too. He knows how to shut someone down, so he definitely deserved it.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna move on. Talk about the round one matchups.
Yep.
Actually, we're gonna go ahead and go round 1, round 2, round 3, all the way through.
Let's go for it.
See what you think. All right. I'll go first. My predictions here. So I got for the first round the Kings and the 419ers. The Kings coming out. I got between the Wolves and the Vandals. I have the Vandals squeaking past the Wolves. I got the Mustangs beating the Pistons, and I got the Lions beating the Liberty in the first round. Sorry to tell you.
I'm gonna let you think about that.
So then, moving on to round 2, I have the Kings versus the Vandals, and I have the Kings moving on, beating the Vandals. Then I have the Mustangs and the Lions playing. I got the Lions moving on past the Mustangs.
You can still change that if you want to.
And for the championship game, the Kings, number 1 seed, versus the Lions, the number 3 seed. I think until they prove otherwise, you can't go against the reigning champions and the Kings. They are just so sound on both sides of the ball. They're smart, talented, fast, and I think one key component to that Kings team that's really overlooked is Thurman. That man can, as soon as he grabs a rebound, he's instantly looking down court for that outlet pass on the fast break, trying to find either TJ or JB, who's always sprinting down the court.
Yeah,
so
Thurman's cold too, man. I mean,
absolutely, definitely a key component to that team. So ultimately, I do think the Kings pull it out, and secure their second championship in a row. So. What about yourself?
All right, so round 1, the Kings and the 419ers. I'm going with the Kings on that one. The Vandals and the Wolves on that second matchup. I'm going with the Wolves. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. I think the Wolves they're gonna come out and they're gonna have a good game. I think Terrell Clark's gonna go crazy. I think Michael Bennett's gonna go crazy. I think Jared Sweefert's gonna come out and have a great defensive game, and I think they're gonna surprise the Vandals.
Yeah,
I really do.
There's a battle of the brothers there.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be some emotion in that game, so it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
The Mustangs and the Pistons. I want to go with the Mustangs. I think the Mustangs, if they can stay within themselves, I think they're a very dangerous team. They got that big 3 starting with Tan, and I think they're going to make a good run too. With the Lions and the Liberty, like I said, you can think about this a little bit more, but I'm going with the Liberty. I think we got it figured out. We beat the Lions early in the season with Malik. I think we know how to play them. I think we know what we need to do to win that game, and I think we're going to do it. With round 2, with the Wolves and the Kings, I actually have the Wolves upsetting the Kings. All right, and I'm like I said, I think the Wolves are going to get hot in that first game, okay? And I think they're going to come out and surprise the Kings in the second game. I think the Kings might be a little overconfident, and I think the Wolves are going to come in there, and I think they're going to take that game too, surprise them a little bit. I'm calling it upset, all right?
So you're moving the Wolves over to the championship game.
Yep, they're going to the championship game.
All right.
For the round 2 matchup with Liberty and Mustangs, I'm going to go with Liberty. We played the Mustangs earlier in the season. We didn't have a great game. They also didn't have a great game. But like I said, I think our team is all around just better in that team.
No bias, right?
No. I think we're going to take that game too, and then I think we're going into the championship game, Liberty and the Wolves, and we're taking that game, and we're gonna go to the championship. We're gonna win, and that's just how it's gonna go. Jay.
Yeah,
that's how it's gonna go.
Okay, I like to see that. That'd be a really interesting matchup there in the championship with the Wolves and the Liberty. I think the Wolves really do. They play well. So,
they do.
If you'd like to be a guest on Record, whether you're a player or an LBL enthusiast, let me know. Send me an email at chad.kleman@lbllegends.com. I'll shoot you an email right back, and we can talk about getting you on the show. Next episode, we have round 1 analysis, season 6 off-season news, and the next episode will be May 1st after we come back from Easter break. So next week on the 24th, we will not be having any games, but the next week we will be. We're starting off round 1. You can go ahead and visit us online at lbllegends.com. You can go see our games, all the stats, Dylan Szabo stats. Sorry, Dylan, I keep calling you Szabo, man.
It's all right.
For everyone out there, it's Szabo, not Szabo. So get it right. Every game, every Sunday, live on YouTube. You can watch our games at 5, 6, 7, or 8 o'clock. Like I said, you can either go to our website or you can just go to YouTube, type in LBL. It's one of the first things to pop up, and it'll say that there's going to be a live game going on. You can click on it and take you right there. So I think that does it for the 4th episode of On Record. Thank you for tuning in today. Dylan, again, thank you for coming in, man.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks. See ya.